My name is Irina Pevzner, and I live in Charleston, South Carolina, where I am directing Charleston Academy of Music. I also perform quite a few chamber music and solo concerts and run a teaching studio. So what motivated me to work with Fabiana is that I really felt like I was spiraling down in the wrong direction in my professional life as a musician. And the truth is that many musicians would probably think I had the dream job because at that time I was a director of the music academy and I was performing regularly. I also have a pretty successful teaching studio. So maybe on the surface, actually, everything was good. But on the inside, I felt like, I was one of those squirrels running in the wheel. And it's just, even though I liked everything I was doing, I really was at a point where I was burning out pretty dramatically. And I became kind of conflicted because I always believed that if I only work really hard, which I knew how to do very well, and if I just, keep pursuing at it and dedicate myself to doing a really good job, then everything would work out for me in my career, in the financial life. So that's kind of what I was believing, but at the same time, I was burning out. I was doing everything that I liked doing, but it didn't feel like how I wanted to feel. So then the financial comfort issue, that never bothered me until I had kids. And I have a now almost 3 and 5-year-old at home. And when they were born a couple years ago, I really turned around my thinking because it dawned on me that with all the hard work I'm doing, I really wasn't making enough, wasn't bringing enough home, and I couldn't really plan for the future when I really started thinking about what's important in my family. Plus, I didn't want to sacrifice that precious time with the kids for work. I just decided, well, something that I'm doing is not right. And my perspective of how things should be was kind of all wrong and maybe somewhat selfish and naive and just not smart, really. And I didn't know what to do about it. And I didn't know how to fix it. And then I remember that I came across Fabiana's free training. I immediately resonated with the kind of issues that she was talking about, like having the vision and clarity for yourself, reframe some of the attitudes, and solve some of those mind blocks that many musicians tend to have. So when I learned about her Musicians Profit Umbrella program, I must say that I was kind of hesitant to make such an investment because I've never done something that big before. And actually, I believe I initially said no. And I still clearly remember that feeling that a few days in a couple days, actually, after I said no, I really I felt something inside that was telling me that this program was really the opportunity to actually turn the course of my current path and perhaps get out of that squirrel wheel where I was. And I also want to say that even though I felt hesitant about the financial investment, I wasn't at all hesitant to work with her because I actually happen to have known her for many years prior to her developing this program. And I knew I had no doubt that whatever she created was going to be super valuable because that's how she's always been, very dedicated to accomplishing her goals and committed to quality. And I always admired that focus and determination that she came with, because it just really seemed like nothing could distract or shake her in the path that she was carving out for herself. So I knew that was going to be good. So I think in the end, I did decide to sign up for the program, I think the day before it started. And that really felt like a big leap of faith. But there I was. The program turned out very intense. And really, the program had everything I had hoped to find and much more. The amount of information was quite overwhelming. And I guess I really needed to be overwhelmed in order to allow for the new ways of seeing things. What it felt like is really like cleaning out the garage that you never cleaned with a lot of stuff in it. I mean, first, everything just had to come off the shelves, out of the cases, whatever. And throwing things that you don't need, keeping what you think you need, and really deciding what you want that to look like at the end. So very similar in the program, I realized in that whole process that I had many kind of unfounded assumptions that were holding me back and were kind of really blocking my flow, so to speak. And for example, I remember that same idea of working hard in order to make it was actually preventing me from thinking about working smarter, not working harder. So that was one of the revelations that I took out from that. Another one is that the idea that musicians have very few possibilities to become financially successful. So I felt like I needed to be grateful for whatever work I have. And that really prevented me from dreaming bigger. So that's just a couple examples of kind of realizations that I constantly, through every session, was, realizing. What we did, we were kind of working together on releasing those kind of ideas of the past or those limiting blocks that I had. And we were finding principles that would allow me to kind of shape a new direction in my professional life. So that on one hand, I'm doing what I like without sacrificing all those things that are important to me. And on the other hand, we were coming up with the strategies of how to make sure that new plan is indeed happening and not just remaining an idea. So I really thought the program was really well organized, and even though there were a lot of information, as soon as I could connect that information to what I'm doing and what I'm thinking, that really stuck, and I found myself applying everything that I learned almost immediately. So in the program, I developed an idea for a program that was kind of based on my experience, on my skills, and really what I liked to do. I called it Power Keys, and I developed a website, a sales page, and I now have a few clients I'm working with. it's really hard to believe that it all happened just after 6 months of the program, which, thinking back to 6 months ago and how stuck I was, and now I'm actually making something new happen. It's really incredible. But really, this, for me, the additional financial income really is a side benefit, because what I'm mostly happy about as a result of the program, that now I really have a clear direction and control in my professional life. I'm no longer burdened by the things that were kind of spinning out of control and trapping me in constantly working hard and not having room for really much else. I wake up every morning embracing the day. I'm excited about the new possibilities. I'm not afraid of any challenges. And it feels amazing to be this liberated. And that is something the money really cannot buy. So that was really my biggest takeaway from the program. This is not the kind of program that will only give you information of how-tos. Frankly, there are so many resources on the internet where you can go and look up what kind of strategies you can take with advertising, what kind of equipment you need. There's a lot of it. Actually, it's kind of hard to narrow it down. But if one spends enough time and has that time, they could do it, I suppose. But that, I learned, is not what makes a business successful. What makes a business successful is the inner conviction, the inner clarity that your service is valuable and that you have something to offer to the world and you love it and you're passionate about it. If you don't have that clarity, you need a coach. And that is truly a transformational experience that you cannot get anywhere else. And I know you can get that with Fabiana, because I certainly did.